obviously fine. Like it's obvious. Like anyone can look at you and know. But I'm trying to turn the F into an M and make you mine. That's what he said. Is it day? Wanna kiss?
What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing stuff. It's Tuesday, and that means we're going live on IG and on YouTube. So we got the IG folks in the chat as well. Amazing stuff. Do me a favor before we get started. Hit that like button. Smack it. Lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. You know how it goes. Make sure you guys do it ASAP. We got some stuff to get into today. Oh, because beauty. Lord have mercy. We're getting into it. We talking about it today. So we're going to get into it. It is a talk show, so you can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we could talk about whatever. We could debate, we could fellowship, we can disagree, we can agree, whatever you want to do. I'm here for it in the name of Jesus. For whatever reason, if you cannot call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you want to support the show, you can send a super chat by clicking the super chat button in the live chat there. Or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV and send your question or comments there as well. The link is in the description. And there's also alternative platforms to support and send question or comments as well. Cash App and Streamlabs and all that good stuff, right? So appreciate the support. And always love the questions and comments. Amazing stuff. We are on all audio platforms as well. Joel Friday TV. You can find me on Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. You guys know where to go. All audio episodes up to this date, up to yesterday's show, is on those platforms. So you can check that out. Shout out IG. What's up, IG? J Rod says, talk about it, Joel. We're getting into it. Oh, we getting into it. Because, Lord, listen. What's going on, YouTube chat? Shout out to the Mod Squad. Mod Squad holding it down in the chat. Amazing stuff. We got to talk about beauty today. Elijah said, Joel, when will you make me a mod? I gotta feel it. The Holy Spirit gotta guide me, Elijah. And I don't know if I've ever even seen you in the chat. Are you new? How you new and want to be a mod? Nah, I don't know if you're new. But I gotta be moved. You know what I mean? But you never know. I love modding people up. I love just hitting that button. It gives me a false sense of power. And I love hitting that mod button and then like modding people up. And also moderators, I see their comments first and most often because they have the blue wrench. So there's perks to being a mod. Perks to being the mod. But then at the same time, the mods don't end up donating to the show because they get all their comments read. So double-edged sword. We gotta talk about beauty because look, the world. Look, ladies, you guys can't be doing all. You're too pretty. Okay, and we love beauty. We love beauty, but y'all are just too. You can't be that pretty. Where are the ugly girls at with the good personalities? Remember how there used to be ugly girls with good personalities? They don't exist no more. Not in LA, not in California. Every girl you see, beautiful. And we need the balance. Where's the uglies? We need like the bus to drop off. You know how the bus to drop off the illegals? We need the bus to drop off some uglies into LA. Cause we need it to be a little diverse. Cause right now you turn your head left and to the right, everybody beautiful. Everybody beautiful. And I want to get into it because ain't nothing wrong with beauty. We love the beauty, but beauty can go too far. And what we're seeing in society right now, Lord have mercy. If I see an ugly one, I'm gonna marry her on the spot. She getting proposed to on the spot. I'll even go on a knee. I'm just playing around. Jerome said get tired of these beautiful ladies. I'm so tired. No, I don't know if you can ever be tired of it. But the point that I want to make about it is like where it becomes problematic, right? Because there's nothing wrong with beauty. There's nothing wrong with beauty. There's nothing wrong with a pretty girl. Nothing wrong with a guy being handsome. Nothing wrong with those things. But it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope because what happens is it dilutes the standards of society. That's where the problem comes in. It dilutes the standards of society. And hold on. Let me make sure I'm seeing IG. Yeah, it dilutes the standards. And what happens is then it becomes like this excitement of the influence that beauty brings. You know what I mean? And it brings forth this like excitement. It brings forth these like thrills, right? And what happens is the people with the beauty, especially today, the people with the beauty are the ones who hold all the power, right? Like there's this sense of like power and control and access, right? That beautiful people have, especially women. They have this like power and control over society. They get everything they want and everybody kind of bows to them. And it's not their fault, right? Of course, they shouldn't be getting, it shouldn't go out of control with anybody, but it's the people who like, are the druggies. But what happens is when it goes too far, right? When it goes too far, it gets to the head. There's this false sense of power. Like I said, a false sense of power, this control, but also this access to anybody you want. Access to things that you may not be ready for, may not be deserving of, right? It gives you this access. And this has always been the case from like the beginning of time where beauty has been like a false version of power. And for men, money is the false version of power, right? And it's the opposite end. So when the men have a lot of money, then they have the power and the control and the access to a bunch of other women, or, access to things, right? Because it's like um, this false, like, accomplishment. Like, if you're beautiful, man, how hard was it? How hard was that? Or if you got money, man, you made it to the top. It's like this false finish line. You know what I mean? And because of that is why, but we've always had that since the beginning of time, but it's just never been like how it is today. And it's never been as diluted because this beauty now has diluted everything. Now everything is like watered down. Standards, you know what I mean? Like the way people behave, what people are interested in, like it's created this culture, right? Beauty is becoming like a culture to where it's now a standard to look pretty, be attractive. And there's a good part of people wanting to not be lazy, but I feel like we're hitting the end of extreme. And my whole point of talking about this on the show today is of like what the extreme of beauty has gotten us, for the most part, in my opinion, today, and what it's doing to society and what it's doing to culture is it's weakening the culture by making everybody empty. Everything and everybody is empty, right? And of course, I'm not saying all and every, but you get the point. And because of that, it's not allowing people to work on themselves. They have no desire to work on themselves. Why? Because they're getting by perfectly fine just being pretty and attractive or rich and famous. They're getting by with it, so they don't have to work on themselves, right? And as you see, that clip I played in the beginning of that girl, she's young, and I don't want to pick on her because she's not bothering nobody, right? But she is a good example of how, like I said, she has millions of views. I talked about her a little bit yesterday. She has millions of views, and she ain't saying none of nothing. But she's pretty and she's young, and like she says stuff like, "You want to kiss," and all those things are like triggers, right? All those things are like triggers. But like, and I understand as men, especially young men, like as we're overcoming, we're drawn to these things, right? But like, we have to know a limit. You know what I mean? Meaning like I know it's hard and it ain't always, sometimes you lose the battle to the beauty, right? I get it. Trust me, I know. But we gotta at least be aware about it and be honest, because it's like feeding into the delusion. That's what it is. It's feeding into delusion. And I'm not exempt from the category. Like being like caught up in that, desire, the fantasy of a pretty lady, a beautiful woman, which just all comes down to one thing, right? But we don't got to get inappropriate. You know what I mean? But I want to play some clips because I got some stuff to show you guys on like things that are so popular but are empty. There ain't nothing in it. But it doesn't matter because it makes you feel good. So you guys see that girl I played in the beginning. And I want to play another one from the same lady. This is TikTok. Same young girl. Let's get into it.
I mean, I personally can't turn water into wine, but I can turn you into mine. Which I think sounds better anyway, so let's go with that. And I just love people with humor. But I think I might love you more.
Humor.
And I love thinking about how we should kiss.
Kiss. Why is she always talking about kissing? Because those are the trigger words. You know what I'm saying? But what is she talking about? What is she talking about? Nothing. And like I said, you know, I'm not against her doing it. Like doing that. Because whatever, she's making money. I mean, I don't know if she's monetized or what, but she has enough views to where she got monetized. She's making money from this. But she ain't talking about nothing. But people don't care about nothing. Instagram, TikTok, all these things, the algorithms are in favor of nothing talk, of thrill seeking, because, and it's not that the algorithms are designed for this. The algorithms are designed to work off of what people are interested in. So it ain't the algorithm fault. It's us as the people. So we just get a bunch of video feeds of, you know, people talking about nothing. And like I said, beauty ain't bad, but come on. Now, if you think I'm lying, let me show you this one. And you're going to tell me if beauty ain't getting out of control. Check this out. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Down syndrome honey. Nah, I'm playing. When I seen that in the on TikTok, the comments were like, I don't even know if I can say it. They're like, that ain't Down syndrome, that's damn syndrome. Hold up. Hold up. That's crazy. But it's also like, if we're gonna try to find something positive about it, it also kind of makes the point of how we were talking about on the show a few episodes back about Down syndrome and Up syndrome, and how you don't have to be like this, like with Down syndrome, you don't have to be this abnormal person. You can do regular things. So if we're gonna say something positive about it, you could say that, you know, this person with Down syndrome is able to work out and be fit and keep up with the other ones, with the rest of the world, and look fine. Hold up. Now tell me, if you're in the club and you don't, if you see her in the club and you had like a beer or two, you ain't talking. Stop lying, you lying. And you're in denial. Satan is your daddy. Satan is your daddy. Everybody is beautiful now. It's not, what the? Everybody's beautiful now. It don't make no sense. The dogs are next. Dogs about to be beautiful. Animals. Everybody about to be. I see the fine midget not too long ago. Fine. Midget's not supposed to be that fine. No, I'm playing. I'm playing YouTube. It's a joke. But Zanny, you wrong for that. I gotta delete that. Don't be talking about her. I talk about everybody. I talk to everybody regardless of how they look. That's right, Chris. Chris might be the only righteous man left on the earth. Chris talked to everybody regardless of how they look. That's right. That's a true Christian. Let me see. King Wesley says on Instagram, it's good to have a pretty woman as your friend. Otherwise, they'll mesmerize you and trick you. Listen, when you cater to the beautiful people and you give them what they want, it's not their fault that their nature doesn't develop. It kind of is. I take that back. Because they know. But there's just no pressure on them to change because they get everything they want. And I understand it. I totally understand it. But what we have to do is like let beauty just be beauty and not like something that we praise and overdo. Show us another wife contender, Joel. What else do I got? Oh, I got another one for you guys. You guys want to see another one? I got another one for you guys. This is what happens when beauty becomes God. She drawing it up. I had no reason to believe that girl's bald in real life. I had no reason not to believe. Because if she drew on those little corners, how much else do we know is not drawn on? You can't. As I tell you, beauty's out of control. Because if she can draw on the head, what else is getting drawn on? I can't trust nobody. I can't trust nobody. And I also don't have no compassion for those MGTOW people. Because those are just like weird people. Because the answer is not MGTOW, men going the other way, right? That's what MGTOW means, men going the other way. The answer is become a man, overcome. So you can deal with women properly, right? You could deal with them. You can put your foot down and be like, okay, yeah, you pretty. But at the same time, it doesn't give you a pass to be out of control, a pass to have attitude, a pass to get what you want, a pass to act up. The answer ain't MGTOW. The answer ain't to leave him alone. You know what I mean? So I think that the guys are just jacked up too. And I'm going to get you guys the super chats right here because I see them coming in. Appreciate it. And I have this like young student. This young student who's like in high school, very pretty. None of the guys, very pretty and also very like smart. Like her parents were around, raised her right, very decent. You know? And I've known her since she was like little, very little. So I've known her for a long time. And like decent. But none of the guys at her school like her. Right? She don't get no attention. And she may get like some here and there. But she don't get no attention. The reason why is because she has values. And the little boys don't want that now. And she's not dressing crazy. She's not doing the most, right? But she's pretty, beautiful. But the guys don't want her. The little boys want the fast little girls with a bunch of makeup, showing all the cleavage on Instagram, you know. And they don't want her. And she's like bothered by it. And I'm like, I understand. I understand. I told her, like, I understand, but you got to understand that you're saving yourself a lot of trouble by not getting involved with those type of boys. So she understands it. But isn't that crazy? The actual ones that, like, you know, kind of want to do what's right, or like, you know, hearts are open to being right, especially the young ones, aren't the ones that are wanted. But when you get older, when you get into your late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the ones that your options, it's messed up world we live in. But not the girls that bond. The girls that bond, come on. They're overcoming, right? The girls in the chat, right? Let's see these super chats. The Key says, Joel, what are 5 values you live by that guide your behaviors in this journey called life? For one, Key, I don't even understand what that means. What are the 5 values you live by that guide your behaviors in this journey of life? Let me try to understand. What I think you mean is, how do I live my life to, I don't even know what that means. But what I'll say is that, like, just try to be as honest with yourself as possible. Get to know yourself. And as you're getting to know yourself, you find the truth, you see the truth. And in that process, you're discovering who God is, and you discover who you're not. And that's what guides you in all things. And then you start to walk in it because your mind is being renewed. And then you realize that, let's just say you have resentment in your heart. You realize that it's wrong to resent because you make mistakes and you are overcoming and you're a broken person, just like everybody else is. So you let go of that hatred in your heart, and you stay on track by just always being humble, being honest, and keeping your heart pure by keeping your eyes on yourself. That's what has helped me. And it's not that complicated. It's just being honest, because God is not looking at perfection. God is not caring about actions or words, because those come in time, and he knows that. He just worried about, where's your heart at? Is your heart pure? Simply meaning, are you honest? Are you quick to repent within yourself and take accountability and keep your eyes open at what's going on within? That's all that is. That's all he's asking for you to do. And then everything else you'll learn on the way. That's my opinion. But that's a good, I mean, the way you framed it, it was just a little bit hard to understand, at least for me. But I appreciate that, the question. But there's no 5. There's only one. Is honesty. Get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Anyway, appreciate it. Let me go to another. How do I go there? Hold on, guys. View activity. What's the chat saying? Joel is white now. Joel testing the spirit. Any good answer for you if you didn't understand? Key says, go on a knee. Let me peel back my layers. Hold on. And get a flight to LA now. I don't know, Key. Do you want what's right? Do you want what's right? Are you able to be completely honest and take full accountability for when you do wrong? Because that's hard for ladies to do. Are you able to keep your eyes on yourself fully and be honest and be seeking God, ready to overcome and working on yourself? Can you do those things? Because if you can, then where you at? Where you at? On a knee. Am I screaming today? I feel like I'm screaming today. But I appreciate the donations, the key. Linian Chin says what? That's not beauty, but prettiness. Beauty is mastery of character and expresses itself as charisma or charm. Don't confuse depthless prettiness with actual beauty, aka class or decency, prancing prince. Linian Chin, you're right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna change my language around just because of that. You're right. You're right. It's prettiness, this looks, beauty is the full thing, the real deal. So you're right, Linian Chin. Right on, Linian Chin. You're right. And I appreciate the super chat. The key says, so I understand that you are honest, accountable, and introspective, dedicated, and reflective. All great values to live by. Honest, accountable, introspective, and dedicated and reflective. I wouldn't put so much onto that though. That's so many words and stuff. And it sounds very intellectual and not simple. Introspective, dedicated, and reflective. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be so complicated. And I know sometimes I even make things complicated, but I don't know, just be working on yourself and keeping your eyes on yourself. So Key, we can't get married until you changed all these intellectual words. We got to keep it simple. You know what I mean? I'm just playing around, but I appreciate the donation, and you're right. Those are all great things to live by. Jessica says, I don't know what some of those mean. Yeah, it's hard to... Hake loves all women. Dude. I'm about to get some calls right now. I just want to see some of you guys' chat. What's going on in the IG? What is IG saying? IG, what you guys on? King Wesley says, when did you start seeing beauty within yourself? I know that sounds mama. I know what you're trying to say. When did you start seeing beauty inside yourself? I don't want to put overemphasis on the beauty thing. But when you really start to wake up and see is when everything changes. And that only happens, y'all. It only happens when you're honest. And people are afraid to be honest. It only happens when you're honest about what's going on. Because honesty is a cry out for help. And that's what it means to repent, is to be honest and give up and be like, God, look, that's just what I'm into. And there's a freedom that comes from that. And anybody who's done that knows that to be true. So try it. And then everything else starts to make sense. And then you start to really understand who you are. When you really understand who you are, that's the beauty. That's the beauty. Coming into who you really are is the beauty. I tell you that. Let me take some calls, and then we'll get back to the comments. Then he said a very rainbow flag statement. That's hilarious. Let me get to Brian out of Missouri. Did I say that right? Welcome to the show, Brian. You're on the air.
Hey, thank you.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my phone call.
Nice.
I was wondering if you kind of had the same experience that I did. I know you were talking about that young lady who was in high school. She's not getting any attention from any of the guys, right?
Right.
Okay. When you were in high school and you saw that kind of girl, did you like put her on a pedestal and like almost think she was not just unattainable, but also like you didn't want to like ruin her?
You didn't want to ruin her? What do you mean?
Yeah, like you see a girl that's like, maybe we might perceive her as like naive or innocent, right. And you go like, oh, I don't want to taint her to my world, like the way that I view things.
Oh, I never had that. That was never my thought when I saw the pretty girls in high school. There was definitely.
Well, I'm talking about not just the pretty girl. I'm talking like the pretty girl who's innocent, who's nice and kind, and definitely has that girl next door kind of attitude. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So what is the question?
It's not a question. I was just wondering if you had the same experience that I did.
In high school or just in general?
It was just in general that like sometimes I feel. I try not to use that word. It seems like I see like a really attractive woman and she has morals and values. And I think, well, I can't obtain her. And also, like, I don't want to.
Why though?
Because
why not?
You feel like, I think it's a internal feeling of like, I'm not good enough. I keep saying feeling. I keep on saying that. Try not to.
No, I get what you're saying though. So then you look at you're viewing yourself as inferior to what you perceive that she is.
It puts them up on a pedestal.
Right. Why do you think you believe that? Where do you think that comes from? Because it's not like a normal. I mean, it's definitely believing the lie, but where inside of you automatically puts you on the lower end. Do you know?
I mean, I can't put my thumb on it right now.
Do you know the JLP show?
Yeah.
Have you done all the things that are said to do, forgiveness and dealing with your parents?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you have not?
No, I've only started listening probably about a week ago.
Oh, okay. So you're new to the show. Nice. So, but you've heard the message of forgiveness and speaking to your parents and holding resentment.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just bought the book, The Antidote.
Oh, nice. Right on. So do you have a good relationship with your parents, with your mother and father?
Yeah, I do. And sometimes I think where I get hesitant is like, maybe it's just like the language that JLP uses, that it feels like it doesn't apply to me, but I'm trying to seek where I think like maybe it's just the language that he's saying. Like maybe it's just the words, and that really is happening to me.
Well, what was your relationships like growing up, or even up until this day when it comes to relationships with other girls? What were they like? What was the dynamic? Did you lead, or were you more on the intimidating way? If you can be honest.
I feel like I keep on saying that.
It's all good.
The women had control in the relationship.
Okay. What tends to happen, and I don't want to like impose this belief because it's just my opinion. What tends to happen is that it's because there's an inferiority complex that you have that comes from your mom and your father too, but the mother. And what happens is, like, I know it sounds crazy and a lot of people don't believe it, but when you forgive and let that go, your manhood does come back. You start to have authority over women, and not a sense of domination, but just a sense of your strength comes back. And that's what happened to me, is that like growing up, I was completely subject to women, completely, in the sense of like, I was always the little boy. I was always looking for love from these women, and just would do silly, silly things, and was intimidated as well. But when I forgave, then my nature started to return. My true nature started to reveal itself. And then I started feeling that strength. And it's a different dynamic, a totally different dynamic. But it all came from my resentment of my mother and the emotional weakness that I had, that spirit of weakness that came from her. Does that make sense?
So, no, I've listened to the show enough to get to grasp the idea. What I guess my hold up, it's not even a hold up. I just want to know, like the words that Jesse uses where he says you should forgive your mother for pulling you away from your father.
Right.
So like my parents were never divorced. Now that's a very surface level, understanding of what Jesse is saying.
Right.
So I guess like what I think is that where it may apply to me is that my mother never let me become a man.
Right. Like
so
how though? What is she?
Is that?
Why did, like, can you give me an example if you don't mind on air, or if it's not too?
Yeah, like so all the time when I was a kid, it was like, hey, my friends are going out to the woods and we're going to take our BB guns out there and, do stuff like that. And it was, no, you're not going. That's too dangerous.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. And what happens is that the nature within you, that is, man, the masculine nature within you, it has been trying to come out, and it wasn't able to because your mom kept suppressing it. And what it is it becomes underdeveloped. And when it's underdeveloped, then your emotions are the ones that are the dominant feelings within you. And you tend to lean on those. And now you good for nothing. I'm just using that as an example. Yep. But does that make sense?
Yeah, it 100% makes sense. I just wanted, I guess that's the only thing I wanted clarification on, because so many people call and they, their parents are divorced and, X, Y, and Z, and they didn't know their father or what have you. And that's just not my experience, but my experience is different.
So you knew your father was around, so was he in the home or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how come, so was your father there to ever say like, no, let him go outside and play BB guns. He's a little boy. He's growing up and he needs to become a man. How come dad didn't step up and do that?
I mean, on occasion,
okay.
I think he worked a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, more than the average for sure. So he wasn't always there, but I mean, most of my childhood, I remember being afraid of my father until I was like 13 or 14, because I really didn't know him.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he wasn't always around. I mean, he wasn't always.
I would say so, yeah.
He wasn't always present, as far as like, oh, okay, I see. Well, that's what happens, is that when the father's not there, or the father's not, in his right nature, then he can't come to the rescue and make sure that you're developing properly. So I would highly recommend, and I'm not trying to make this sound like a therapy session or not. I'm just telling you that this is what has worked for me, and it, like, I can understand exactly what happened through your situation, is that you gotta deal with the parents, and let them know that those are the things that affected you, and you understand if you see that, that they were wrong and that they couldn't help it, but you understand that they had their issues, but it affected you, and it's bothered you. Have you felt like you've had any type of feelings towards them, negative feelings, resentment, or anything, or?
Not until I started listening to the show did I start to actually experience some of those feelings.
Do you resent yourself at all? Like the weakness in you? Like do you have
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
okay. That man, it's crazy because I totally relate. Is and stop me if I'm overstepping as well. But I totally relate because I had a lot of anger within myself and I never would put it I was like, I can't be mad at my mom, right? It's not her fault, it's
hmm
me. But that anger that I had came from her. You know what I mean? That came from her. It came from her trying to impose, certain things on me or treating me a certain way to where it weakened my nature. And I was mad at myself, which I was really mad at the weakness, the emotions, and that came
yeah.
from her.
I remember a couple shows ago, maybe it was last week. You talked about like always wanting to be like a masculine, macho man, and like working out and being strong and getting in fights and being tough.
Right.
Like I think about all the things in my life that I've done, like I joined the military to try to feel like a man.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's because all of these false ideas of what manhood is and all these things, like the physical version of them, we think is gonna like help what's going on internally. But what it is that there's anger, there's resentment, and there's emotions that are in the way from the true strength. And it starts by seeing first that you have those and that it's wrong to have them. And then when you see that, you go deal with the people that who influence you to have them, which is parents. They did their best, but yeah, they didn't guide you, and that's their job. That's what parents' jobs are to do up until 18 is to guide us in the right way to go and the right way to live, and they missed the mark oftentimes. So we got to go repair that by forgiving, and then it starts to change in you.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that book and then I'll call you back, let you
Yeah,
know how it goes.
right on. Well, right on, Brian. I appreciate the call. Yeah, call me back and fill this in.
Sounds good. Bye.
All right. Joel said he can't with the lady that speaks with words that have more than 3 syllables. I don't know. This is like a lot of it was just very wordy. Thanks again, Joel. Oh, and one you and I will have a dance off. I will win. Have a good day. King Wesley, you're not beating me in a dance battle. It's not happening. But I accept. That's funny. That's so crazy though about the caller, man. That's just crazy because I totally relate. And it seems like taboo. It seems almost like silly to think that all this stuff comes from the parents and the way we were raised and all these things, and that there's spirits that live within. Like it seems so like crazy, but it's the reality. And it also seems like magic. Like it seems like magic talk. If you tell somebody when you forgive, it helps. It's part of the process, and what it does for you, they think it's magic. They're like, no, that can't happen. And it may not like be a quick switch right away for everybody. It wasn't like that for me, but I start to see the difference in the way I would behave. So forgiveness is a big thing, but honesty is the first thing. You got to recognize that it's wrong in the first place, and then from there you can see if you need to forgive. And if you're not sure if you need to forgive, you're like, I'm not sure. Should I forgive? Then you don't want to start there. You want to start with getting to know yourself to find out where your anger is coming from and who you need to forgive. You don't want to just do it because that is what is prescribed. Yeah. And I got a text that says, this is an example of turning you away from your father, though he is in the home. They don't have to be divorced. That's true. Let me say this real quick. Is I have a theory. Is that people have always felt this way about beauty, about the beauty thing. And they've always felt like this desire to want to express it and be on OnlyFans and post and dress a certain way. This has always been the case, but it was never okay. Nobody ever had the green light enough to go do it without any backlash. And now is the perfect time that people have the green light to live their life. So they've always felt this way. They just never could go out there and do it. So now what's happening is everybody has the freedom to do what they want in society today. So if we could try to find a silver lining in it, this is my theory, you know what I mean? I could be wrong. Is that maybe it's not such a bad thing that people are expressing themselves, because it's kind of like reminds me of JLP in church. He had last week he said, drop all your morals and values. Because when you drop all your morals and values, how you really think and feel, whether right or wrong, will come about. And you won't be living life based off of a standard, what the Bible says, whatever, right? What your parents taught you. You'll be learning based off of just life experience and, blah, blah, blah. But there's a sense of freedom that comes from that is also seems to be important. Not being afraid to be whatever you are, whatever you want to be, right? Because from there, at least from there, you have no judgment or expectation, and then you can learn what's right and wrong, but know that you know and know that you know what's right and wrong, right? So maybe a good part of society is the freedom that everybody thinks they have, right? Or the freedom to do what you want. But where it's necessary for the people of God to stand in at the right moments is to put your foot down when it gets out of control. Let people have their freedom, because a lot of people learn from hitting their heads hard enough. Let them go on the football team. Let the woman go on the football team until she gets cracked. She'll realize, right? But if we never let her go, will she ever know? But as soon as she start trying to lord it over and impose it on you, you smack that foot down and be like, So let people have freedom, but also don't let them impose it on you. I don't know. That's my theory. Maybe it's not such a bad thing. I don't know. I could be on drugs today. It's a slight possibility. Anyway, I gotta end. Sorry, callers, I can't get to you today, but call me tomorrow and we'll get to it. American Anchor Baby is coming in, though. And he has an amazing show. So make sure you guys tune into the American Anchor Baby. And until next time, y'all, I gotta go. Bye, Instagram. Instagram peeps, come check me out on YouTube Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm live. And come join the live chat. The snake pit. All right, guys. Until next time, I gotta go. Much love, peace, and chicken grease. Bye.